A day in the life of a student athlete. Now, this one's interesting, having had a son now for the last 5 years, be a student athlete, not a NARP. He calls them a non-athletic regular person. I guess that's what you're called if you're not a student athlete. I don't think my son made it up. I think it's hysterical. Either way, let's talk about what it takes to be a student athlete. So if you're out there and you're in high school watching this, stay tuned, get mom and dad. I got all sorts of insider secrets to tell you, and really critical techniques and strategies you need to employ. So specifically, we're going to talk about this. So specifically, I'm going to talk about some of the things my son did, and I have worked and coached the Georgia Southern football team, now the basketball team, very specific things they do on and off season. Then I'm going to talk about NIL, brand new thing, just started in July of 2021, your name, image, and likeness and how you can be paid. And do you take that money or not? That is a very critical conversation that we need to talk about as a student athlete. And you parents need to pay attention. You got tax problems. Let's just say that. I'll save that to the end of the video. And then number 3 is, where do you go to work? You go to work for experts. What are some different ways that you can go to work for experts or companies and actually get huge strides in your career? So let's begin. So a day in the life of an athlete, like what do they do? Well, let's just talk about what they do. They play their sport. They go to school, they have meetings with their sport, they sleep and they eat. And that's about it. Every once in a while, if they have a party, that's interesting, but I can tell you some rules of the party right away. Everyone checks their phones and their keys, and that's even a high school safety thing. And more importantly, the phones are for not being on social media. Your social media, by the way, all of you athletes, and unfortunately, if no one's ever told you, it is your current resume. It'll be your resume through your career. So they will go back as far as in your high school to see how you behaved, what you posted, how you acted towards others. All social media is a resume for those of you that are growing into this work world. So welcome. It's also the reason why all of my social media is integrated wealth systems, Loral Langemeier, attainable wealth. It is all business related. You rarely will see me do like just private family and personal posts. That was a business choice that I made. Some other gurus go out and they show their whole family and they make it, like a whole reality TV show. Not interested in that. I have way more interest in privacy to my children. Student athletes have a lot to do. They live and breathe and die by the schedule of the athletic department, especially if you're on scholarship. So on the off season, what can they do? This is where I go in and I teach on off seasons, financial and business literacy, education, and how to really be in your own side hustle, for example. So my son has been a tutor. He is actually interned for tax teams. I have had some football players go out and intern in our Kansas real estate office. So we offer internships. I've had people actually come out and work with us. I have athletes right now that are doing personal training. They're doing position training, right? My niece plays volleyball in Iowa. She's gone back home into Nebraska on the summers and done position and sports training. So there's so many things. Like I have another athlete, he has a nutrition journal and a nutrition program. Believe it or not, I have several athletes that actually have either a shoe line or a clothing line. I have another athlete, Zion, who's amazing. He's got a pressure washing business. I have another gentleman, Todd, who's got a handyman and woodworking business. So have a side hustle and be incorporated. And here's why, because we're going to NIL next. When you make money in your name, image, and likeness, it should go into a company, right? If you put that in your personal bank account, in addition to your scholarship, and you're not paying attention with the CPA or tax strategist that's really good, you can end up with the tax burden at the end of the year. I've seen more and more NIL students, meaning name, image, and likeness, students be paid, not pay attention to that, put the money in their personal bank account. And if you're a highly paid athlete already, like and you're on full scholarship, you're already making all of your COA, they call it cost of attendance. You have your room and board, you have your food. I mean, you got a lot, you get gear. I mean, you get a lot of benefits and a lot of money. So I have literally seen at the end of 2021, when this was activated, student athletes have a huge tax burden. Here's the problem. You've already spent the money. You bought it on a big screen TV. You bought some jewelry. You bought a car. You bought something that you didn't need, but you didn't manage the money part. So that is where I come into play. If you're interested in help, parents or student athletes, call the number below in the description. So just call the office, say you're a student athlete, and you want to talk to that group of folks that work in that area in our office. NIL is critical. And what I've told a lot of athletes, if they have side hustles and they're already making legitimate, say LLC or S Corp money, they're making money legitimately where they actually can do the deductions and have the business expense. Do they really need the NIL money? Not really. So a lot of companies are doing it in trade, right? So they can trade for chiropractic services or for food. I have a ton of athletes that have NIL where they get a certain amount of food, $500 to $1,000. They can go to the restaurants, during the month. And as long as they're active at the right scholarship and grade level, right? Because if they fall out of status, they don't get any NIL, by the way. I don't think a lot of you realize that. Or if you get injured, typically your NIL is taken away. So do it in trade so it accommodates the tax return. Love to help you figure that out. Parents, especially those of you parents that have kids that are now going to be coming into, whether it's the draft, which is either bigger than NIL, or they're going to be coming from high school into college and they're highly recruited. Taxes is going to be one of your biggest problems and no one's talking about it. It drives me crazy. It's the obvious. And I would rather have you, or in addition, have a side hustle. Because what are you going to do? If your career ended, what would you do? I've seen this over and over with athletes who no longer will have a football career or a basketball career because of injuries. And now what do? So during your off season, I want you to start learning to be an entrepreneur. Start learning how to side hustle, how to make some extra money, put it in a company. And then when you go home to see your family, if your family's involved in the company, you go home to see your partners. There's a whole strategy on how to go to school in a very different way that no one has been talking about. So I'm here to tell you the day in the life of a student athlete can be how you design it. It can be an amazing experience or it can be kind of a stressful one. So before I continue a few more NIL strategies and tactics, I want you to subscribe to my channel. We're going to be continuing conversations in a really broader conversation than just the general public. We're going to be speaking to student and pro athletes, coaches, and their wives. As we head into 2023, it's a huge initiative because I want to solve what's called broke. Right? The problem where you go from nothing to a lot. Like the statistic is only 3% of pro athletes across all sports make it. Doesn't have to be that way, but you have to have a very different structure. So before I do that though, I want you to subscribe to our channel. I want you to click the notification button, click the bell. So every morning, 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to get up, take a shower, get ready, drive, walk, bike to school, whatever you're going to do, watch my channel. And by the way, those of you that are students, I'm also doing a binge watching challenge to actually help you get more education in money and finance and business. So click on my binge watching link here in the description and watch me instead of maybe Yellowstone or something else for the weekend. And lean in, learn this. This is really important. I wish somebody was teaching me this at school, which is also why I love teaching this age of athletes. And then if there's any topics that are not here that you want me to lean in and talk more about, go to the comment section and put them in, and then I'll be fed those information. And then next month when we do our big video production of our YouTube channel for you, and this is only for you, all of you that are out there watching, this channel is for business and financial literacy for you and your family. So everyone in your family and around you should be listening to it and talking about it. Don't just listen. Say, what did you learn? What are you going to do about it? Those are my two favorite questions. What did you learn? What are you going to do? Now let's go back to NIL. Some of you really want to target some business. If you do want to make the money, you want to target businesses that could support you also being there. Like I know a lot of car dealerships are supporting student athletes in NIL, insurance companies, like I said before, food for sure. And there's a lot of companies in your town that would support you in your NIL journey to making money. And if you want the education on off season, again, let me know. Our office number is in the description below. Now, as you get a little more mature in your, say, junior, senior, or fifth year of playing, you want to start thinking about where are you going to go. If you're not going to go pro, what else are you going to do? Start taking some internships and also instead of being an entrepreneur, be an intrapreneur. There are companies that allow you, I have done this and will continue to do this. So if it's interesting, come work with our company. And I, as the CEO and mentor and the leaders of our company, will mentor and guide you into what part of a position of the company. We have marketing, we have sales, we have fulfillment, we have accounting. We have tons of places for you to show up and learn. So it's also why my son went to school, is to bring us back a team. So if you want to be on our team, again, call our office and say, I want to be on the team. And you're going to move to Northern Nevada, which is where we are. You say, well, I want to work remote. Well, I want you to be in the energy of a millionaire, a multimillionaire, and a lot of companies and how we do it. That's what's going to teach you. There's nothing better in learning to be the entrepreneur, not the entrepreneur, than working with an entrepreneur. I worked with Robert Kiyosaki, Sharon Lechter, Bob Proctor, you name it. I worked with them, became business partners with many of them. Why? Because I leaned in and I learned and I was coachable. And I think a lot of you are already coachable because you're a student athlete. So I hope this helps you on your journey and look forward to engaging, having a bigger conversation. If you'd like to learn more about our Millionaire Intensive and how to make money in a marketplace, like really quick, grab 2 tickets below. They're free. And a complimentary, I'd say, to me, to you, to have you start on this journey. And I wish I would have had it at 18, 19, 20, in my early 20s. So enjoy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.